Takana, Dakota Machaje, Makana Homini Makape, Kushina Ichach my hair, Chajeg Maku. Hantan Chajeg Hebeduha, Makana Homini. So I'll translate and I was raised by Grandma Mary Blackshield, Hechakawi. And when I was born at this hospital here, my mother brought me home and brought me to my grandma's log house. And she gave me to my grandma and said, I want you to raise him. Because my mother was young back then and she didn't have time to raise a child, I suppose. But I was glad because after my grandma told me, she gave me my Indian name, and it's called Maka Nahomini. Maka is dust, or dirt, or dust. Nahomini means whirlwind, so that means a dust whirlwind. And when I was in my grandma's log house as a baby, my grandma told me that it was summer. I was born August 14th, 1944. And not long after that, a dust whirlwind, a little small one, came to the door of the log house and it fell apart there. So that's what my grandma, she said that came to see me. So that's why she named me Dust Whirlwind. And that's called a Maka Nahomini. And if that happens for a little girl baby, they call it Wamaniumini. And that means the same thing, dust whirlwind, but it's named for a girl. And when little boy babies were born, the grandpas would come, and they'll the little boy babies. The grandpas come and they welcome the little boy baby. And I seen this when my young brother George was born, 1950. He had to stay in the hospital for a couple of months. He was born in April. He had a bad heart or something. And when they finally brought him home, the grandpas, that year, 1950, in spring and summer, they still went around in wagons. And one by one, the grandpas came and they'd come in the house. Grandma would give them tea or water. And then the grandpa would go up to the little boy and he'll shake his hand and he'll say, "Ha, Kshina, Taya, here though. Hey, little boy, that's good you came." So he'll shake his hand and he'll say, "Opetuk de tan tokata kia. We cho angana you ha adikta." That from this day forth, you will carry on the language, the Kota language, and tradition, custom, the culture. And then they'll open up their shirt, pull his little T-shirt. They pull it down. They're looking at his chest. When they're looking good, the first grandpa looks at grandma and he said, "You okay though?" He said, "He's got something," he said. So later on, another grandpa came in a team. And he did the same thing. He shook the little boy's hand. He said, "Oh, Kshina Taya here though. A pitik de tan took atakya. We cho angana dicta." So that's what I translated before. And then he looked at his chest too, and he looked at grandma. He said, "Are you okay though? He's got something." Then he looked at his ears and then his nose. Looking at his nose right here. So after the second grandpa left, I was kind of nosy by then, so I asked Kunshi, I said, "Hato kanuri zigzi wanka." How come they're looking at him stretching his ears? I said. So she said, "Dako chichak." I'm going to tell you something. See, my grandma never spoke English. She never spoke a word of English. So I listened. She said, "When a little boy baby is born, the grandpas come and welcome. When a little girl baby is born, the grandmas come and welcome. And they'll shake their hand and look at the chest, the ears, and the nose right here." She said, when they look at his chest, it says that he's got some. And they meant he has scars on his chest from Sundance scars, that he was born, he was like reincarnated. He was a old-time Dakota from before. And he had those Sundance scars. So they gave him that Indian name, Ahana Wichasha. That means a long, long time ago man. He came back again. And she said, when they're looking at his ears, if he was a woman before, he would have earring holes. And if he was an eagle before, he would have those holes here that eagles have on their beaks. So, anyway, that's what they gave him, that Dakota name, Ahana Wichasha. And as the years went by, as he was growing up, he used to do strange things that proved he was a long ago man. One evening in summer, the elders were sitting in the shade telling old stories, and a ball went rolling by and the little boy come running. That was George, he was the little boy. He stopped, he looked, the grandmas and grandpas were sitting in the shade. They were sitting in the shade telling old stories. And George looked at them and he started singing Indian really loud, and he was dancing to his own song. So that's when Kunshi said, "Ahana Wichasha Tai Ich Idon Wachi." That proves he's a long ago man, because he's dancing to his own song. So that proved that he was reincarnated. And another time, the grandparents, there were some grandpas, they were coming down in a ditch by the road by Sioux Manufacturing. That wasn't there then, but I'm just explaining. And George was looking, he said, here comes Uncle Dick, he said. Uncle Dick is coming. Coach Rosa sitting in the back, he said. And his team, the wagon must have been a grain thing in the old days, because it had sides on it, solid sides, and they had rubber tires on it. But they were coming close, and he said, let's go run to the road, we'll help Koshi. I said, well, how do you know? I can't see Koshi. He said, she's in there, she's sitting in the back. Let's go. So I went with him just to see. So we got to the highway there, and then the ditch was the wagon road. So when they got close, Uncle Dick, oh, he said, the team stopped. Grandma rode the big truck. She got off of that wagon. She pulled out, they used to have a blanket that they put things in there, then they'll tie it up, make a bundle, then they'll carry it. So I asked George, I said, well, how did you know? I didn't see her, how did you know? I know, he said, I seen her, he said. So that's another sign that he was a Hanawichasha. So that's the story of reincarnation, I guess. And what the well, I guess you would call it ceremony, or what they did for babies back then. The baby boys, the grandpas came. Baby girls, grandmas came. And I never did see that after that. I never seen it done. To this day, nobody does it. Now and then when I see a little baby boy, I'll do that. Then I'll explain to the mother. That's what they used to do in the past. But nobody cares. I mean, when I explained that to one young mother, she said, oh, that was it. She didn't want to know, anything else. It didn't matter. But that's the way I was raised. The Indian way.